All right, so I woke up this morning and was checking the channel analytics and realized I was up to 500 subscribers. So thank you to all those that subscribed. And I kind of was down a rabbit hole the last couple days. I'm mostly getting my spoil board set up, and I've got a couple projects to finish up this weekend. Hopefully, I've got some time in the garage to do that. But I was tinkering in Fusion, and for whatever reason, I really wanted to get the last axis I have is the Z axis to switch over to inductive probe. Unfortunately, on the Ultimate B, because a lot of the other CNCs, there is a large plate, and then the rails are mounted to the plate. So the rails stay stationary, and the trucks on the rails is what actually moves up and down. On the Ultimate B, it's kind of the inverse. The trucks are secured to the plate, and then the large C-beam moves up and down. So when it's the inverse and the screw stays in place and the gantry moves up and down, the inductive probe works a little bit better. In my case, I had a few constraints. Because the C-beam moves, I was limited in some of my options. And as well, because of the way I have my dust boot set up, I have very little clearance to make this all work. So I went from, there's the traditional the shipped mechanical switch, and it works fine. Um, kind of just more of I went down a rabbit hole. Should I have gone down the rabbit hole? I don't know, but I did, and here's where I'm at. So right now, I can um, I can actually move my axis up and down. So there goes. Make sure I don't hit anything. So that's all fine. You can see it. Hopefully I can get a camera angle that works, but there is very little clearance. There we go. Come down a little bit more here. So you can see, if I get that cable out of the way here, you can see there's not a ton of clearance between there, but it does fit. It doesn't collide with anything. But I probably have like a quarter of a millimeter. So I'll see what I can do about that. But it does need to be, I needed enough metal to make this work. And so if I go up, I will just home my Z. So you can see it triggers, everything zeroes out. It's reasonably easy to adjust. I can undo this screw and move it up and down. You can see I've got a little bit more clearance that I could play with, so I can move it up a little bit higher and get a little bit more Z travel. But overall, it's working well. The cable management's a little bit funny. You can see here on the top, because again, the way that the cable chain goes and moves around, and the axis moves, um, it's only okay. Again, this is one of those, I did it because I kind of got stuck on it, and I maybe should have let it go and stopped trying, but I didn't. And this is what I came up with. So if anyone has any better thoughts and ideas, given the constraints of the dust boot arm and the fact that the slider is the part that moves versus the plate, yeah, let me know if you got any better ideas. But this is what I've come up with so far. I've got one or two little tweaks to make, and I will put the files up on printable shortly for anybody who wants to follow on this fool's errand with me. But that means that now I have my y-axis are both set up for inductive probes, which is great. My x-axis, and now the z-axis. So mission accomplished on getting inductive probes set up everywhere. Again, whether that was necessary or not is up for debate, but it does work and it is accurate. And I like that the mechanical switch, just being down near the cutting area, I never actually had it trigger falsely, but I did come close once. Just almost clipped I can't remember what I clipped. Something I left on the spoil board that shouldn't have been there, but I did almost clip it in the middle of a cut. Um, yeah, so anyway, this kind of moves the sensor up and out of the way, and that kind of is nice. Again, definitely not a need, and we'll probably have a limited number of people interested, but I will make the files available, and just thought I'd give you an update. Awesome. Again, thanks to my 500 subscribers.